Hello and welcome. My name is Alexis Miller, and I'll be your yoga instructor today here on Wild Blue Yonder Media. So, welcome to this Yoga for Pregnancy series. We are now on week 15, very, very exciting. And this practice is just designed to help you get into your body. We're going to actually work from our feet up through our body and continue to do that for the next couple of practices here, just to loosen you up, just help you feel a little bit more at ease. I want to welcome any spouses, partners, friends, family members, or even little family members who are along for the journey doing yoga with the expectant mother. I know the support means a lot. So, as I've said throughout this series, these practices can be mixed and matched. You don't have to be at week 15 to do this practice. You can be, but you don't have to be. You can mix them and match them based on what you need and what your body needs. But as we go through the back practice, keep in mind your boundaries. Notice where you're ready to extend into postures, where do you need to modify and come down to the mat, or perhaps just find a center posture. Also, keep in mind I don't often cue water, and we're supposed to be drinking a lot of water throughout this. So, whenever you feel the need to grab a sip, just step off your mat, grab that drink, and then join us whenever you feel ready. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and come into a comfortable seat. Your legs can be crossed or they can be straight out in front of you. You can be up on a prop like a block or simply sitting down on your mat. We're going to wiggle back and forth and root into the sits bones and then sit up nice and tall. Let's inhale as we draw the shoulders forward and up, and then exhale them back and down. Inhale the shoulders forward and up, and then exhale them back and down. Hands come into a comfortable position, whether on the knees, palms up or down, or in your lap. And we're going to start this practice with a breathing practice to connect you with your baby. So if you'd like, you're also welcome to bring a hand onto your belly, a hand onto your chest. If you'd like, you're welcome to close the eyes or simply find an unmoving point and soften the gaze. And take a moment now to simply notice your breath. We're not changing it or affecting it anyway, but simply just noticing that natural rhythm or cadence of it. Now, take a nice, full, slow, long inhale. And as you do, breathe in all of the love that you feel for baby. And slowly exhale out. And as you do, feel all of baby's love for you. Inhale, motivation for baby. Exhale, baby's motivation for you. Inhale, niceness for baby. Exhale, baby's niceness for you. Inhale, openness for baby. Exhale, baby's openness for you. Inhale, opportunity for baby. Exhale, baby's opportunity for you. Inhale, perception for baby. Exhale, baby's perception to you or for you. Inhale, perfection for baby. Exhale, baby's perfection for you. Inhale, love for baby. Exhale, baby's love for you. Take a few more moments to do several more breaths just like that, breathing in whatever it is you would like to offer your baby. And on the exhale, breathing out that same offering from baby to you. After your next exhale, you're welcome to release your hands down onto your legs or into your lap. And take a moment now to set an intention for your practice today, which really can be anything at all, but it often answers the question, why did I get on my mat? Take another full breath here as you feel that intention with your heart and mind. And then exhale that breath out, set the intention off to the side, knowing we'll return to it toward the end of our practice. Gently opening the eyes when you feel ready. And we're going to go ahead and just move our prop right out to the side if you're using one, coming onto our hands and knees to start here. So hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips, tops of the feet are on the floor. On the next inhale, look over the shoulder and then scrunch the left shoulder and the left hip toward one another, shrugging the right shoulder up toward the right earlobe. Getting a nice, deep, long pull on that right side there. Nice side body opening, supported on the hands and knees here. Good. And then inhale brings you back into neutral. Exhale has you looking over the right shoulder, scrunching the right shoulder and hip toward one another, shrugging the left shoulder up toward the ear, feeling that lovely long pulling sensation through the left side of the body. Nice full inhale. Nice deep exhale. Good. And then inhale brings you back into neutral. On the next inhale, plant your right hand to the center of the mat, right beneath your face. And then on an exhale, reach tall with that left arm coming into a tabletop twist. So rotating open, reaching toward the sky here. Notice if the left hip wants to jut out to the side. If it does, keep it in line with the knees. Bottom elbow slightly bent. It's so easy to lock out that joint, but we don't want to do any damage there. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, sweep that left arm down and back and down toward the mat. And inhale, bring it forward and up. Exhale, bring it back and down. Inhale, bring it forward and up. And then exhale, bring your left hand to replace the right beneath the face here, center of the mat. And then on your next exhale, rotate open with that right arm coming into tabletop twist, opposite side. So again, reaching tall here, rotating through the spine, keeping the hips in line with one another here, or in line with the knees here. Good, full breath. Another full inhale. And then exhale, sweep that arm back and down. Inhale, bring it forward and up. Exhale, bring it back and down. Inhale, bring it forward and up. And then exhale, bring that hand back down beneath the shoulders. Even those hands beneath the shoulders here, again, knees are still beneath the hips. And then on the next inhale, drop the belly, lift the head and the hips coming into cow. And then exhale, press the mat away, feel the shoulder blades separate, coming into cat. Inhale into cow as you squeeze the shoulder blades together, tip the chin up, look up toward the sky. Exhale into cat as you press the mat away, move the chest toward the hips, look back between your legs. Good. Inhale into a nice deep cow. Feel that opening in the low back, stretch through the belly. And then exhale into high cat as you feel that opening through the upper back here. Good. And into the neck. And then inhale back into neutral. Great work. Now, you may need to have a prop nearby, or if possible, have two blocks nearby for today's practice. It's not a requirement. I'll try to cue you as we go. But to get started, we're going to tuck our toes, making sure that our heels are about hip width distance apart, and you may want to bring your block along. So we're moving into Japanese T pose, where we sit back here onto our heels and we stretch out our feet. Now, if you've never done this, or if you're already experiencing some swelling in the feet, this may be a super intense stretch. So we have a few options. First, you're welcome to stand here and simply lean back as far as you're able. If you're getting a stretch, that's great. You can place a block between your legs on the high side, the medium, or the low side, and sit down onto that as well for some extra support. Options, not requirements. We're going to be here for just a few moments, making sure all of those little piggies are tucked under here. Shoulders are shrugged down, you're long through the spine. Core is very gently engaged, hands are in a comfortable position. You can close the eyes if you'd like, or just find an unmoving point, softening the gaze. If your feet are screaming at you, it may be because you have not stretched them in this way before. We don't want any pain that's going to send you to the ER, but we do want you to reach an edge where it's like, oh my gosh, this is an intense stretch. So we're stretching out all the ligaments, all those beautiful little muscles that are in our feet that keep us upright and moving throughout the day. Let's take a nice deep inhale, a nice deep exhale, a nice deep inhale. And then exhale. Let's go ahead and come forward onto the hands and knees, untuck the toes, and then gently tap out the feet here. Good. Tapping out the tops of the feet gently on the mat. You can also roll the ankles in one direction and then in the other. Just reassuring yourself that your feet still work after what your yoga instructor puts you through. Good. Lovely. Coming back into neutral now. We're working, like I said at the beginning of our practice, from our feet up. So we're going to inhale, bend the right knee, stick that foot up into the air, and then exhale, flex the foot, extend that right leg behind you, plant the ball of the foot on the mat. Step your hands a half a hand print forward toward the top of the mat, and then exhale, press into the hand, spike that right heel away from the body, coming into your calf stretch here. So a couple things to note. If you've got a cow back, go ahead and tuck the chin, look down toward the floor, engage the core, and tuck the hips so you have a nice flat back. Notice the tendency of the right hip to float up, and instead exhale and square it with the mat. Your elbows are slightly bent. We're working the biceps here as well as the triceps, and we're spiking that heel away from the body, getting a lovely stretch through that leg here. Good. Let's take a nice deep inhale. Nice deep exhale. Good. Inhale, come onto that left knee and then extend your right leg straight out to the side. I'll turn it an angle so you can see me. So right angle to the body with that right leg. And then exhale, sink back like you're going to go into child's pose, except this right leg is directly out to your side. Good. You're welcome to lower the chest and the head down toward the floor, keeping in mind if your belly has already developed, if you've already got that pop, just making sure to accommodate baby as appropriate. Keeping those toes down, feeling that nice stretch through the inside of the right leg. If you don't reach down all the way, you can always use a block underneath the forehead on any one of its sides to support the opening here. And extending those arms gets that nice pull through the upper body as well. Taking a couple deep breaths here. Good. Inhale brings us back up onto our hands and knees. And then we're going to go ahead and take that right leg and bring it straight out in front of us. Now, this may be where you want to grab your blocks and bring them into your hands on the high side here. Okay. So we're on our left knee. Our right leg is extended. Foot is flexed. We're going to inhale as we lengthen through the spine. Exhale as we hinge at the hips and lean forward with the heart center, coming into dragon on this side of our body. Ooh, so we're immediately feeling this through the entire back of that right leg. A couple things to note. Keep this left hip moving forward and squared with the top of your mat. Pressing forward with the heart center instead of the nose so we have a nice flat back here. That's going to keep that stretch of the back of the leg nice and honest, nice and full. Using those blocks for support, bending at the elbows as you need, or adjusting those blocks as makes sense for you. And then continue to pull those toes in toward the shins. So we're really feeling that stretch from the heel all the way up into the hip capsule. Yeah, it's intense. Just a couple breaths here. Great. Inhale, come forward onto this front foot. Step those blocks out of your way. Hands come to either side of that front foot. Now we're going to heel toe our foot over to the left. So the ankle is to the inside of the left wrist, and then lower the knee to the inside of the right wrist. Now notice how I'm really lifted. I'm going to slide my left leg toward the back of the mat, lowering the hips down toward the floor, coming into pigeon. Now, a couple things to note. We don't want to roll onto this outside hip on our right hip and have our left hip flexor shining out. Instead, we want our hip flexor facing the floor. So notice how I shift my hips. That causes my right hip to lift. And now that stretch is much deeper in my right hip. This may mean that you need to stay lifted. It may mean that you use a prop like a block to come onto the forearms or maybe even down onto the mat. There's not a wrong answer here. I just invite you to find what works for your body, seeing if you can bring that left hip toward the mat here, that hip flexor toward the mat, again, as if it's going to kiss or as if it's going to touch. Okay? Taking a couple deep breaths here. Great. When you're ready, moving props out of the way. Inhale, bring yourself back up onto your hands. Let's go ahead and slide that left knee forward and then extend your right leg straight back. Move it around in a couple circles in one direction. And then in the other, just loosening up that hip, getting a little bit of blood flow. Good. Before coming back into neutral. Great. We're going to come onto the opposite side. So inhale, bend that left knee, lift that left foot. Exhale, extend that left foot straight out behind you, flex the foot, and then plant that calf on the mat here. Step your hands half a handprint forward, elbow slightly bent, and then exhale, press into the hand, spiking that heel away from the body. So again, if you've got a cow back, go ahead, tuck the hips, engage the core, shrug the shoulders down. Gaze is looking down toward the floor between your hands here, just above those fingertips. So you have a nice flat back. Notice the tendency of that left hip to float up. If it does, square it with the mat here, and you'll notice immediately how that deepens the stretch. Elbows are slightly bent, pressing into the mat. We're working our biceps and triceps here. Deep breath. Good. Inhale, come onto that right knee. Exhale, extend that left leg straight out to the side. I'm going to stay at this side so you can see it from this angle. So my left leg is perpendicular to my body. And then exhale, I sink back into my child's pose, but left leg stays right where it is. So as I sink down, forehead reaches down toward the floor. The lower my torso gets, the deeper the stretch will be in through the inside of that left leg. Again, you can use a block for support underneath the head, underneath the forearms, whatever makes the most sense for you. This is your practice here. And then just taking a couple deep breaths as we really feel that nice opening through the inner thigh. Good. Inhale brings us back up onto our hands and knees. Swing that left leg forward so now it's straight out in front of you. Again, you might need to grab your blocks, bring them onto the high side here. So we're on the right leg, left leg is extended, foot is flexed. We inhale as we lengthen through the spine, and then exhale as we hinge at the hips, lean forward with the heart center, coming into dragon on the opposite side. Oh my goodness, this is my tight side. The shoulders are shrugged down. We're long through the spine, pressing with the heart center instead of the nose. When we do that, we're getting a fuller, more complete stretch here. Continue to pull those toes in. Check with the right hip. It might kind of try to sneak toward the back of the mat. And if it does, try to square it with the top of the mat here. Good. Elbows are slightly bent, using those blocks for support on whatever height makes the most sense for your body here today. Taking a couple deep breaths. Good. And then we inhale, come forward onto that front foot, move the blocks out of the way, plant the hands to the top of the mat. Heel toe your foot to the right side of the mat, ankle to the inside of the right wrist, and then knee lowers to the inside of the left wrist. Again, notice the lift here. Slide your right leg toward the back of the mat. Good. So again, we don't want to be rolled onto this outside hip, right? We're not really getting much of a stretch here. So instead, we want to be on top of that right hip, moving that hip flexor down toward the floor. If you're super lifted, you can always place a block underneath that left hip to help square you off and to support that opening here. Options. Again, you may be up on the hands. That's great. Maybe you use blocks down on the forearms, or maybe you lower down onto the forearms on the mat. Notice what feels right for your body. Shoulders are shrugged down. Find some ease in the jaw. Couple deep breaths. Good. On the next inhale, go ahead, come back up onto the hands. Let's slide that right knee in, extend that left leg straight out behind you, move that leg around in a couple circles in one direction. And then in the other, just opening up that leg, getting a little bit of blood flow. Good. Before coming back down to the mat, go ahead and make your way into a seat. And we're actually going to come straight down onto our back. So if you need to towel off, grab a drink of water, put on socks or a jacket for final relaxation, now is the moment to do it. We will not sit up for the rest of our practice. So coming on down onto the back, tucking the knees into the chest, or wrapping the arms around or hands around the knees, maybe giving yourself a little wiggle, little rotation here. If you're at the stage in your pregnancy where you feel like you should not be on your back, if it's uncomfortable, feel free to skip this and just roll right onto your side instead in that fetal position. And then coming into neutral, drop the soles of the feet down to the floor. Knees are in little mountains here. So a couple of options for final relaxation. Knees can remain here. Hands can find a comfortable spot. You can allow your knees to fall open wide, soles of the feet to come together, recline bound angle. Great opening, great hip opener, very supported here. You can always put blocks beneath the legs on either side. You can extend one leg or the other for fallen tree, or both legs for traditional final relaxation. Again, just finding a spot for your arms that makes the most sense and feels the most comfortable for you. Again, you're also welcome just to roll onto your side into that fetal position, using blocks underneath the belly or the head for extra support as you need it. Or you can just simply return to a seated position and treat this final part of our practice like a seated meditation. Totally up to you. So, as you settle into this final part of our practice, I invite you to tune into your breath. Begin to notice how fast or slow the breath is, how deep or shallow. Notice the quality of each breath on your inhales and the quality of each breath on your exhales. Feel into the gentle rise and fall of your belly, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. And allow your attention to simply rest on the breath and notice its movements in and out of the nose, up and down the throat. Now, if your mind wanders off on a thinking adventure, it happens. It's no problem. Celebrate the fact that you noticed you wandered away and then come back to the breath. Come back to focusing on your inhales and your exhales. If it feels right for you, perhaps incorporating a mantra to help you stay grounded and focused on the breath here. Inhale, I welcome. Exhale each moment. Inhale, I welcome. Exhale each moment. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments today. I'm going to get quiet for this final part of practice so you can have it to yourself. Please know that I'm watching the time and I respect yours, and I will let you out of this posture before the end of practice. So lean back, let go, and just rest right here with your baby. The most effective way to show compassion to another person is to listen to them. Bringing your awareness back to this space, taking a deep inhale through the nose, filling your belly, lungs, and chest with air, before slowly exhaling that breath back out. Take another deep inhale as you begin to wiggle the fingers and toes, move the arms and legs, gently waking your body up. When it feels right for you, gently rolling onto one side, pausing there with an arm or a hand beneath the head. It's here that I invite you to bring back to mind your intention or your purpose that you set at the beginning of your practice that answer the question, why did I get on my mat? Take another deep inhale as you make your way on up into a seated position and we close out our practice together today. So finding your comfortable seat, rooting into your sits bones, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, draw those shoulders forward and up. Exhale them back and down. Hands come into a comfortable position, whether on the knees, palms up or down, in the lap or at heart center. Closing the eyes if that feels comfortable for you. We take a moment to express gratitude for yet another lovely day here on earth and for our bodies that allow us to do so many things, including yoga and growing a tiny human. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. It was a joy and an honor, and I hope to be able to do so again in the future. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this Yoga for Pregnancy series, week 15. I'm so happy to have had you join me. And thank you so much for joining me for this Yoga for Pregnancy series, week 15 class. I hope you're feeling a little bit more at ease and at home in your body. Make sure to like and subscribe Wild Blue Yonder Media if you enjoyed this practice. And also make sure to share this with another pregnant friend or gal that you know, so she too can experience some nice openness in her own body as she moves through her pregnancy journey. Additionally, make sure to check out Wild Blue Yonder Meditations wherever you listen to podcasts. On there, I have tons of meditation, breathing, and mindfulness practices for all seasons of life, all kinds of topics, including pregnancy, including the breathing practice that we did at the beginning of class, just a longer version to help you connect with your baby. So thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you in week 16. Have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.